What it is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. I am the HNIC, the head nerd in charge, Dakota Griswold of Gamers, Nerds, and Geeks United. Welcome back to Yesterday Today. This, of course, is the show where we bring you some of the biggest gaming news you may have missed from yesterday, today. And let's jump right into the appetizers and talk about Madden 21. Now, we know Madden hasn't been very well received over with the crowd and even with some of the critics, but the fans really have a serious distaste for the game, and it appears that I don't know, they're just maybe trying to do a little something like add Colin Kaepernick in the game, and he hasn't been in the game since 2016, and he's one of football's just top free agents. He's not in the NFL though, but he's in the game, so I guess he's gonna get some type of money, some type of royalties from this. But it's crazy to me. So about a week ago, people were just saying like, oh, they hate Madden and they really can't, they're not feeling it. It doesn't feel like it's been updated. It feels like it's broken. Then a week later, you decide to throw Colin Kaepernick in it with his fist up. That's sounded a little bit more than a coincidence. Sounds like y'all did it on purpose. I don't know if the game has been fixed. I don't know if there's updates or anything like that, but maybe not use what's going on in the media and Black Lives Matter just to be able to maybe get people to like your game because Colin Kaepernick is in it because of everything he stands for. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not what y'all are trying to do, but that's what it looks like. Moving on to the next piece of it, and this whole Apple versus Epic thing is definitely just becoming petty, tit for tat at this point. And I'm absolutely here for it. I'm enjoying it, but I really feel like both companies will come out on top even better than where they are now. Now, these companies are both billion-dollar companies, and Apple probably maybe more with the technology and everything they do. But Apple, it's just the iPhone is heavily used all around the world, and so is a lot of the Apple Watch and all of the MacBooks and everything like that. And then, of course, Fortnite is like the biggest game in the world right now. And then, of course, you got the Unreal Engine that is made by Epic that a lot of games are being developed on. So these are both very rich companies, and they're just going at it head to head. And I really feel like they're both going to come out on top in a better way once this is over. But Apple officially released a statement, and this is pretty petty. And it says, Epic's lawsuit is nothing more than a basic disagreement over money. Although Epic portrays itself as a modern corporate Robin Hood, in reality, it is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that simply wants to pay nothing for the tremendous value it derives from the App Store. Wow, that's putting it plainly, but I don't know. Is that what Epic is doing? I'm really wondering. Maybe they just feel like, you know what? It sounds like it's the pot calling the kettle black, because Apple has definitely had their issues in the past. But at the same time, you can't blame Epic for wanting to get more money off of something that they created. But then Apple on the other end, they say, no, you want to be on our platform, give us this percentage. It's a small percentage, about 30%. But if you're trying to run a company and you want to grow more, maybe Epic just doesn't feel like that's enough. But this is still all very interesting. I'm really interested in the outcome. And I feel like somewhere down the line, there's going to be a small documentary made about this. And it's going to be very, very interesting to watch. Now, let's move on. And well, Obsidian that made Fallout Vegas, right? And then recently gave us a bunch of other stuff. We got Grounded, we got Avowed, and of course we had Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, which is a pretty good game, and a lot of people loved. Avowed is seemingly very interesting with the whole Skyrim, that kind of aspect, but they actually also are working on something secret inside the same studio. They just released Grounded. They're working on Avowed, and just last year, they gave us Outer Worlds. And then Outer Worlds DLC just came out very recently. The studio is that big that they're working on another game. Here's some words that's actually being said. That it is John Sawyer said he's working on his own project inside the studio. That is quite interesting. I can't wait to see. I'm actually still very interested in Avowed. I played a little bit of Outer Worlds, and It's not really for me, but I do think it's a very good game because the first-person shooter lover in me is definitely going to be hip to playing it. Maybe I'll jump back into it eventually. Maybe one day I'll get it on Switch, but I really think it's a very good game, not taking anything from it. But Avowed, the whole action RPG Skyrim type thing, this is the vibe we're getting. All of these are very different types of games. Also grounded is a survival thing where you're shrunken as children and you're fighting bugs in the garden. Very different games. So really, I can't say what this secret game is going to be. Maybe it'll be an RPG. Everything else is basically an RPG. I'm really interested in seeing that. Now, let's go on to the next piece of the appetizing. Well, even though it is a notoriously difficult series, Ninja Gaiden has some serious fans out there, and that namely might be me, right? I've played all of the Ninja Gaidens 1 through 3, and then even the Sigma versions, but I never really got a chance to finish the third one because I've only played the original version of the third one, which wasn't too good, but I didn't get a chance to play Razor's Edge. That was basically a revised version, but also that was the first Ninja Gaiden game in the series that did not have Tomonobu Itagaki, who is the director of the previous two games. And you really feel the fact that it doesn't have his touch anymore, but they did what they could with the Razor's Edge version so they could touch it up more. But a Hong Kong distributor, Game Source Entertainment, there's a listing for a Nintendo Gaiden trilogy on PS4 and Nintendo Switch, and it's also listed for about $40 coming out next year, March. I'm here for it. Honestly, I would love more Ninja Gaiden games. I would love to see them do more with it or whatever. Honestly, Ninja Gaiden Z, that was actually a fun game where you actually played as a villain coming out for redemption. I played a little bit of it and the art style was different. I really feel like that game should get another chance because it came out really late in the previous gen, and a lot of people didn't get a chance to give it. But, people said it was okay. The art style, the combat, the humor was actually, it was kind of Deadpoolish, honestly. But that should definitely come back. But let's first focus. Getting really excited. I love Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden 2 was really great. Not as hard as the first one, but the second one was really good because you got more weapons, and maybe I was used to the combat, and I feel like playing some of that Ghost of Tsushima might actually have me prepared to learn how to parry and do other stuff in this game. But I'm really excited if this is true. Koei Tecmo has not yet confirmed the game as of yet, but I'm excited. I feel like this is definitely a real thing. We might not hear about it for a while, but it'll be really good to see this and to play it on a Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I'll take that. Moving on to the last bit of it, and well, Crash 4, right? Crash 4 is coming out in October, and it just every time we see it, it looks better. Well, yesterday we got a chance to look at a new character, Crash's girlfriend Tawna, but an alternate dimension version of her, and she's the only one that can wall jump. She can kick, and she has this whip, and she has a grappling hook. Kind of awesome. And honestly, at first I really didn't want to pay $60 for this game, but it feels like they're putting a lot of love and a lot of care and a lot of detail in it. I really can't wait to see what a lot of people think about it, because this fall is really crowded, and this game actually looks pretty awesome, and I really can't front. But they get a free demo that comes out next week if you pre-ordered the game digitally. Yep, they need you to lock in your purchase just so you can get the demo. Well, I won't be getting it right now, but I will be looking at online to see who's playing it and what they think of it and things like that. But I'm very curious and very excited. I kind of got my mind made up that I definitely want this game. I'm glad to see more. It looks really good, and it looks really fun. Let me know down in the comments below if you plan on getting this new Crash Bandicoot. All right, lads and ladettes, let's get into the main course. Let's get into the real meat and potatoes. What you came for. Go ahead and put your bib on. Grab your fork and knife, because I got a load for you. First off, let's start off slow and let's ease on into it. First, we definitely heard from Nintendo yesterday and found out that we're going to have to wait a little bit more time to hear about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this actual word officially came from AG Aonuma-san over there at Nintendo of Japan. Of course, the guy who actually had the heavy hand in creating Zelda. And here's an official statement from him. It says, we mentioned in June 2019 Nintendo Direct presentation that we had started development on the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Many people around the world are still playing Breath of the Wild. So I'd like to thank you, all of you, from the bottom of my heart. And a bow. respectfully, regarding the sequel in order to make the vast world you enjoyed exploring in the original game even more impressive. The team is working hard on the development, so you'll have to wait a bit longer before we can provide more updates. And this is to be expected because pandemic, COVID-19, everybody's still working at home. And I'm just really glad that we hear something about it. But here's something else that we definitely heard about. They are releasing another Muso style Legend of Zelda game called Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. What does that sound like to you? First of all, let's go back to Breath of the Wild. Who is the final boss? Calamity Ganon. This is about what happened before Breath of the Wild. The butt whooping that Link got that ended him in a 100-year coma. This is a Muso style game, Dynasty Warrior style game in the Breath of the Wild series that is a prequel to Breath of the Wild. I usually don't like these types of games, but this idea, it sounds awesome. Get this, it comes out November 20th. It's not coming out next year when it's the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. But what I think they might be doing is, look at what they did with Mario. Earlier this year, they said, hey, look, there's Paper Mario. There were heavy rumors. And then they said, hey, look, there's Paper Mario. Oh, it's coming out next month. Then what did they do? They gave us another surprise direct. And then they said, yo, you got until next March to get Mario All-Stars. Mario 3D All-Stars. Oh, and get this. It's coming out 2 weeks from now. Right? And that's all. We had all this stuff coasting through this year, right? All the way up to March, February, I want to say next year, when we get some more Mario, when we get Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, right? Even though next year is also the 35th anniversary of Metroid, don't think we get any Metroid next year. It's both Zelda and Metroid. So what they might be doing, this is what I really want to say here, right? We are getting The Legend of Zelda, I have to look again, Age of Calamity on November 20th. Okay, now we're stacked for the year up until December, basically. We got Mario September, Pikmin in October, and Zelda in November. We have no idea what it is for December yet. But then, officially, we'll hear more maybe about Zelda games next year. What if they've remastered 3 games for The Legend of Zelda next year, too? And then maybe on the tail end of next year, we get Metroid Prime Trilogy. Yeah, now that's wishful thinking. Moving on to the next bit of it, and well, we got official confirmation from Xbox that the Xbox Series S is real. Absolutely. Launches November 10th, and it is, get this, $299. It is also an all-digital system. Now, let's think about this. It's $300. What's also $300? The Nintendo Switch. This system is leagues more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. Is it going to hurt the Nintendo Switch? I don't think so, because a lot of people just aren't really thinking about the Xbox as much. It's getting better with the advertisement, but it's just really no appeal to a lot of people because there aren't a whole lot of games, at least not to the casual gamer. PlayStation being more of the known brand. People you can go and ask anybody, like, oh, what system would you get? They would either say Nintendo or PlayStation. And honestly, Xbox is sadly one of the last ones mentioned. I could be wrong, that your circumstances could be different, but in my experience, this is what I heard. But honestly, $300 for, get this, and here's the specs: 4K resolution, up to 120 frames per second. It's once again all digital experience, 4K upscaling for games, variable rate shading, variable refresh rate. And of course, they got some ray tracing going on in there. And it looks like it actually looks like the Series X to me. Just a little bigger, but it has a big fan on top. What actually looks like a speaker. And everybody on the internet was having fun with it. Even Xbox themselves was having fun with it. I definitely posted it on the GNGU Instagram. Go ahead and follow that. And basically, it looks like a speaker, but then you got the movie where it's with Kevin Spacey and he's holding up the stereo, but now it's a Series X. It's a Series S. And basically, Xbox put it out. The original tweet was from IGN, and Xbox put it out, and they said, no, the S in Series S does not stand for stereo. or speaker, excuse me. It doesn't stand for speaker. I really like the way Xbox is handling these leaks. They're posting memes. They're having a lot of fun with it. So I really think Xbox is they're onto something in this generation, right? Because while it's going to be a rough start because they're playing catch up, well, 2 years down the line, when we got stuff like Avowed and Halo and everything starts rolling out, there's going to be a release calendar that Microsoft starts rolling out. And then it's going to be like, man, you remember when we really just couldn't get into Xbox? Yeah, I don't either. Then Xbox is going to just constantly be putting out games. Maybe they're not all phenomenal and great, but they're putting out games constantly to get you to appeal. And then look, they're at Tokyo Game Show. They're really trying to appeal and widen their approach. There's Yakuza games. What? Xbox is really trying. We're going to get Dragon Quest on the Xbox this fall. They are really trying. Just get this. In just a few days, you'll be able to play a lot of your Xbox games anyway, as long as you have Wi-Fi. I'm really interested in seeing what Xbox is doing this generation. All right, lads and ladettes, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already, but it does help out. And if not, hit the dislike. It's all good. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new here. And if you haven't, go ahead and scroll up to all so you know when your boy is posted. We're here every day, Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. Lads and ladettes, share this video everywhere so everybody knows about the gaming news that GNGU provides. I am your boy, Dakota Griswold, the HNIC, the head nerd in charge. And this video is finito.